our champion. Also our pole sitter, Alessandro DiMario, joined on the front row by Hank Fosberg and Matthew Chapin.
Avery Dreyer, Logan Cunnison, and Levy Batty on row 2.
Go back to row number 3 is the Isaac Woodworth, his best result of the season yesterday, finishing 4th alongside Chase Brown and Dominic Doyle.
Then we got Chris Parrish, Sean Unvarski, and Jaden McKellar.
Go back to row 5, Cassidy Heiser, Seth Dahmer, and Romeo Chiavini.
See Zachary Foster in the middle of row 6.
Move back through the field. Solly Mervis up in Twins Cup here this weekend on row 7 with Matthew Paternoster and Rodney Best.
Stephen Shakespeare, Jeffrey Perk, row 8.
Rounding out our field of 27, Gabriele Lewis, Bear Stevenson, and Arthur Diaz. Twins Cup, final race of the season. It is go time. Alessandro DiMario from the pole position. Like he got a decent start. Matthew Chapin, though, wanting to make quick work of it. Hank Fosberg will lead the field into turn 1.
Yeah, and it was a little tough for a couple people on the inside because they was where the track was a little bit wet. But Hank Fosberg is going to lead them down into turn 3 on that opening lap. Avery Dreyer's trying to make a move on Alessandro DiMario into turn 3. Looks like he's able to make that stick.
Talked about the points implications for Hank Fosberg. He has the opportunity today to move himself up to 3rd in the championship point standings, and at just 15 years old, it is a remarkable feat for this young rider, considering the fact that he wasn't old enough to compete in the first half of the championship. So he's been able to put himself certainly into that conversation, and lots of good things to come from him now that he's old enough to race.
And Alessandro just not really comfortable, or maybe he's got an issue in these tricky conditions because he's lost a couple more spots. You see him right there behind Dominic Doyle.
With the racetrack still drying out, the riders out for the first time this morning. They did have a warm-up session, but with the amount of water that was still on the racetrack in those early hours, they made the decision not to go out. We see a rider, this is Chase Brown on the left-hand side of your screen. He'd been so strong all weekend, being inside of the top 5 in the practice sessions, and unfortunate end to the racing season here for him. As we go back to the front, Hank Fosberg continuing to lead over Matthew Chapin.
Avery Dreyer's really good in these tricky conditions, and you have to remember also too, Hank and Avery are battling for that 3rd spot in the championship.
As Matthew Chapin now makes that move, he's going to lead. Avery Dreyer looking to try to get around Hank Fosberg. Not enough room here going into turn 1.
But Hank's able to make the move on Matt, so now he's going to lead him. He was fast, just luckily had that unfortunate issue and lost a lot of places early on, but he was able to fight his way back into the podium. So he knows going into today, he does have the pace to go with the leaders, as you can see now, pulling out to almost about a half a second lead.
If you weren't with us yesterday in our all-day coverage here on MotoAmerica Live Plus, you might have missed the fact that Hank Fosberg is racing in 2 different categories, also racing in the Parts Unlimited Talent Cup by Motul, and he was able to win that first race here yesterday afternoon in that category. So he has a lot of track time, he has a lot of confidence, and he certainly knows what he needs to do to win. But Matthew Chapin has the speed and the pace using that draft to get around him going in across his front straightaway. And here comes Avery.
Matt is really strong out of that last corner. That was yesterday as well. He was really strong and able to use the power of the Suzuki down the front straightaway. Matt's such a smart rider. He always knows where his bike is strong, and he uses it to his advantage. Alessandro DiMario, he's down in 8th now, so I don't know if it's the conditions or an issue that he's having.
Yeah, Alessandro continuing to fall down the order. He wasn't comfortable all weekend. He was very honest about that. We talked about the fact that he had that incident yesterday during qualifying, but picked it back up, was able to finish the race yesterday on the podium. Just doesn't have all of the confidence that we've seen out of him all season.
Avery's going to lead him. Great pass from Avery down into turn 5.
Avery Dreyer here for the full season, 3rd in the championship point standings coming into this race. He's been able to win once so far this season. That came back at Barber Motorsports Park, so it's been a while. He's been on the podium 3 times in total, but he really wanted to put up the results this weekend, and unfortunately with the way the race played out yesterday, he fell back just a little bit, had to work today, but it looks like he came out ready for the job.
It's kind of tough down there. You see turn 1, how wet it is there on the inside when guys are trying to make a pass. Look how quick this changed. Avery Dreyer leads over the start-finish line. Coming out of turn 2, he's back and forth.
So quickly things change here with the bikes, and the riders are so closely matched and so competitive here in SC Project Twins Cup. Avery Dreyer, who was just leading the lap, now at the tail end of this front pack. Matthew Chapin finding himself back in the lead. It's always great talking to these younger riders when they come off of the racetrack, because you can tell how much fun they're having when they're out there, and then huge smiles as soon as the helmets come off as well.
We talked about track conditions being a little bit damp. Matthew Chapin yesterday 24.9, right now 26.3, so just a little bit over a second behind what they did yesterday.
Levy was right there. Take advantage, puts himself up into second place. And here comes Avery Dreyer.
Keep going back and forth the way they have been doing, or if not, Matt is going to pull away too far that they're not going to be able to close that down. Fastest lap of the race, the last lap, Matthew 25.9.
Track continuing to dry out, and I think to your point, Roger, Avery Dreyer able to get back up into second. There's a spot where you can still see the spray. All of these competitors out there on slicks. How much does that upset the bike?
Well, right there, they're straight up and down, so you can see it doesn't really, just that one little puddle, so not.
Avery Dreyer wanting to take it away, and as they come to the stripe, that lap, it was down to 200ths of a second. Avery went now with the fastest lap of the race. That last one at 25.5 for Avery.
See, Hank keeps looking up the inside of Avery a couple times now, just not close enough to make a pass stick.
That last lap by Avery Dreyer, you look at the fastest lap that Levy Batty, for example, has been able to put together, and it's half a second off of Avery. He certainly is there able to hold on to the tail end of this group. As the laps tick away, you've got to be able to stay a little bit closer to put yourself in contention for that podium. This is where we've seen Avery strong. Still not enough to get around Matthew Chapin. But here comes Hank Vosberg.
Hank is really strong on the brakes down into turn 1, and the tough part is making that pass and not drifting up too wide to open the door for Avery to come back through on the inside. He did a great job.
All right, so 1, 2, 3 as they sit. Matthew Chapin with Hank Vosberg behind him. Avery Dreyer now sitting in third. Four points separating Avery Dreyer and Hank Vosberg for third in the championship point standings.
Seen Hank make some moves down into turn 1 so far early in this race. He's going to make another one on Matt.
2 laps remaining in the SC Project Twins Cup 2025 Championship. Matthew Chapin was able to win the race yesterday. Hank Vosberg wanting to go into the offseason with this momentum, just 15 years old. Is he going to be able to this last turn? The white flag is now being shown from start finish. This is the final lap, the final opportunity. Hank Vosberg, 15 years old. Will he be able to collect his first win in the SC Project Twins Cup? He's got Levy Batty right on his rear tire. Avery Dreyer sitting in third. Matthew Chapin's fallen back just a little bit. Still in this group.
It's going to be turn 5. Jamie going to be a corner to watch as we go up over this hill into turn 4. Levy's going to try to make the pass on the inside there. Great riding by Hank. You see how tight he is there. Doesn't leave the door open. We've seen Levy make a couple passes earlier on in this race up into turn 6, but he is not close enough. Hank gets an awesome drive out of turn 5. Got him a little bit of breathing room now.
Levy has finished on the podium twice. This would also be his first win in the SC Project Twins Cup. If he can get any closer to Hank Vosberg. traffic in front of him. Hank just this head down, pulling just enough of a gap. Matthew Chapin not able to get any closer to the back of Avery Dreyer. We come to the stripe, and Hank Vosberg will take home his first win in the SC Project Twins Cup category. Second place going to Levy Batty, and third place for Avery Dreyer, with Matthew Chapin settling there in fourth. Dominic Doyle collecting the checkered flag to round out our top 5.
What a race.
Wheelie high. He certainly earned it for Hank Vosberg, able to qualify himself on the front row here this weekend, taking full advantage. That was a lot of back and forth action for these young riders. What a race. Alessandro Di Mario with the issues and the struggles that he's had. You see him shaking his head there.
Avery Dreyer going to round out the podium with Matthew Chapin, Dominic Doyle top 5, Isaac Woodward, Alessandro Di Mario, Andrew Wade, Casey Heiser. Sean Unvarsky would like to be a little bit closer to the top 5.
Saw him up there at the beginning stages of this season. Let's take a look at the championship points now that the season is wrapped up for SC Project Twins Cup. The #1 plate going to Alessandro Di Mario, who we know is going to make the move up to Super Sport for 2026. Then you see Matthew Chapin there